Cool. So you finished the mission. Everyone survived. I shouldn't sound surprised, but yeah, everyone survived. Yeah, and everyone makes it back to headquarters or wherever they're staying when they're not out on a mission. I think at least Auden, Echo, and Janselli are expected to like do a debrief. You've brought Harith with you. He delivers a data pad with information and is able to fill you in on some of the goings on in the city. So you get your reward of 2 intel. So that for Dr. Int gets 2 intel. Yeah, that's the fallout from that mission. Then I don't know if we should continue with like the secondary mission and all of that, since we're not continuing play after this session. I feel like doing a bunch of mechanical stuff just for that doesn't feel like it's worth it when we could do.
It's just one roll. It's just one roll, and I want to know how this is going to play out.
Cool. Then let's figure it out. That's a hard knock mission. So let's see. The engagement roll for all missions +1 die if they have all worked together before. I don't think.
Well, are we using spaceport kits or no?
Yes, we are. That was the plan.
Okay. Yeah, they have worked together, and yes, everybody is firebrand.
Yeah, so that's 2 dice.
And there's +1 for the move. One of the move gives you +1 to engagement roll, and I picked it.
Yeah. So that's 3 dice, but your morale is low. So that's -1 die. And for that mission, you needed, let's see, hard knock, trigger or firebrand, and you have firebrand. So that's fine, but it's not an assault spell, so you don't get the extra bonus die. Hard knock, you don't have weapons or heavy weapons, but no one is wounded. So it's 2 dice. And this is for you, Rich. You're the mastermind. So you roll the engagement roll.
Okay. 4.
2 dice.
Right, I knew that. And a 6.
6, nice. That's a clean success. So you get the rewards from that as well. That's +2 morale. Nice. So let's see, I will note that on planning, it's +2 morale, which means that if you hold on to that, then from the next mission on, you would not have the penalty for having low morale on your engagement roll. So that would be very useful. Yeah, and then the mission you didn't do, the penalty there is that you get +1 time, which is for Reddick. So Rich, you get +1 time there. That's that's most of that's the mechanical stuff from the missions.
Right, got it.
Cool. So do we want to do some RP scenes? We have some time. I figure we could do a couple of scenes or or maybe we do them like epilogues, but they can be scenes. Do epilogues for whatever characters you feel like. We can do multiple characters per player if you want to. And then we'll leave some time to talk about the game afterwards. So cool. I'll start with Sabine. Do you have a character you want to do epilogue?
I think I want to do one for, actually, because I played them recently, I think I want to do the at least one epilogue for Mathavi. And I think we see them after this mission smoking a death stick. And we see that one of their antenna is kind of smooshed, and then kind of there's just a knob, right? And there's a big scar from where they crashed into the barricade. And they are telling that story, yeah, and then I smashed the stormtroopers all around me. Everybody was firing, but I just smashed through the barricade. And you know what? Just awarded me immediately 8 points for that. And I lost this antenna. I think I should have at least gotten 12. But you know how it is. I'll get more points anyway.
Nice. I like that. Tad, do you have someone you want to do an epilogue for?
Yeah. I think we still have one. Think with Gensely, the captain or officer. What was his name?
Oh yeah, Argard or something.
Let's say Argard. Sure, sounds good. I will just go to his office. Oh, officer, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, I lost you somewhere, and obviously I didn't catch those guys. I don't know what I thought, but you know, then today in the morning I walked through a few, pawn shops, the weird, the untrustworthy ones. And to look what I found, and I will show him, some of my earrings.
And he knows that you're not telling the truth, that you were up to something and you're trying to cover for it. But he also knows that he doesn't have any leverage. Like he can't use this. But you can see that he is like making a note, a mental note that I'm going to do something about this. Actually, no, he just tells you that that's a nice story, but I know you were up to something, and I'm going to find out what it was. And when I find out, your father won't be able to protect you. No one will be able to protect you. The Empire will have your head.
Oh, officer. I know that you don't trust me now, but that just makes this all more interesting. I say, and then I kiss him on his cheek, and like walk out of his office, like swaying hips and just like, going just like full like, femme fatale noir movie, yeah.
Nice. I love that. Awesome. Rich, do you have someone?
Yeah. I find it amusing that I made a character in the specialist side who was too good to take any missions and therefore never saw play. That's awesome. That cracks me up. I think it's Auden. It's like a group scene. It's Auden. He's bandaged up. He's got some, like, if you see the picture of him, he's got some armor on top of that from where he got shot. He and Cheeks and the rest of the crew, I imagine, are heading out with on like speeder skateboards, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like trolling
Like
through past.
hoverboards.
Yeah, like hoverboards, totally hoverboard. Thank you. That's way better than
Yeah.
speeder skateboard.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So they head out on hoverboards, and we see bits of the city that were damaged and places that were closed. And Auden, with the armor, he's also wearing his like delivery driver get up, and the rest of the crew is too. And they deliver some food and some music and some libation to Blee, who is like, guys, I'm trying to lay low here, but of course lets them in, and then they have like a basement hideout party. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
And
Sabine,
they're
you
like,
have- sorry.
I heard that Batavi was pissed that he only got 8 points. Like, oh, well, it's the way the game is. It's the way the game is. He'll get his points back, I'm sure. He'll get more points later. Sorry. So
No, that was perfect. Sabine, do you have another character you want to do something with?
I am wondering. I mean, yeah. No, that's Thomas. I think we can have a little a scene where we can see Yale and Echo, because I mean Ian's not there, so let's give Echo a send off. And they're sitting there, it's pretty companionable. Yale is repairing something on Echo, and Echo is kind of trying to guide her, and Yale is like, no, I know how to do this, it's fine. And it looks quite kind of cozy and nice and things like that. And then the scenery rumbles, and you realize they're in a little spaceship, like a bigger than a land speeder. They're under heavy fire, but you know how it is. Sometimes you have to repair your friend and fly the ship.
Oh, that's great. Nice. Tad, do you have another character you want to do something with? You're muted.
Yeah. I just want to give us like a look at the off-screen mission as like end of it, as Miss Everett is and the rest of Spaceport kids are like standing in the big room with some machinery around them. There's a lot of like there's like several dead stormtroopers. They're all like they all have like stormtrooper weapons. And yeah, Miss Everett lights up a cigar, and with the typical Ithorian walking with a stick, like they all walk out of the building, and then she takes out the detonator and blows up the machinery, the plant, and they all look into the explosion.
Nice. So they're walking away in slow motion.
Yeah.
and there's an explosion behind
They're
them.
they're just next level badass at this point.
Nice. Rich.
I think we see this is maybe several episodes or issues or whatever later. Reddick is arrested by some of the what are those the stormtroopers in the black armor? I can't remember what the silly.
Oh,
It's not
are
dark
they the
troopers.
Death
What were they?
Troopers or Dark Troopers?
Death troopers. That sounds right. Yeah, arrested by some death troopers and an ISB agent, and it looks like, oh no, the friction is has been upended. But then we see working in the cell blocks, they're local to Rosu, the mastermind, is still doing the work, just continuing to work through intermediaries. Yeah, kind of like that idea.
Nice. Cool. Does anyone have any more characters they want to do epilogues for, or
Just a little tiny one. And that's at the end, right? Screen is fading to black, and we just hear Isilis's voice, like, I can throw him! And it plays out.
Nice. Cool. We don't have any more sessions, so we won't do any wishes, but let's do some stars. I'll start with you, Rich, since you went last with your epilogues.
Sure. Stars to you, Anish. This was a heavy lift to bring this game into existence, and I was really impressed by the character keeper and the execution. You also flew without a net because you only got so much feedback on a not quite finished game, and you made it work, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So star to you. Star to Tad. I really enjoyed how you like slipped into a couple of different characters, and they all felt just slightly different, and that's fun. And star to Sabine for helping out by playing a lot of different members of my beloved little goofballs that are the Sticky Fingers. I especially like the final bit for Matavi. That was fun.
Cool, thank you. Tad.
Yeah. Also, star to Andesh for the keeper, and also the thing that I just noticed, like during this session, that you all the changes you did to adapt things to be, Star Warsy in the abilities and the inventories and stuff like that, where you change the generic stuff to Star Wars stuff. That's that's so cool. I didn't even notice it at first. So yeah, and generally GMing this. Also, I would like to start our discussion at the end of last session, like about about like working with characters in this sort of game. It really helped me today to like you have to focus on like one or two like defining things, because you don't have like I didn't like realize it before it was like worked it out, but like yeah, it was really helpful. So
cool.
Oh, nice. Sabine.
Yeah, stars to all of you, Anders, for running this game, and for understanding the game well enough to be able to run it. It's a lot, I think, kind of a lot of moving parts. I really enjoyed the complications you threw at us. The sniper, oh no! And then I also will start that you allowed us to use Echo when we really needed him. So I will also star. I like the Sticky Fingers, Rich. They are amazing recon group, and they really gained personality as a group really quickly with this whole point system, because you could always refer back to it and had a touchstone for a character and what they were about. So that was really nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I also like the idea of Isilis just throwing this guy over the roof. Poor guy. I'm a 50-something bureaucrat, and I would not have enjoyed that. So felt very relatable. Yeah. And Tad, I really liked Jensely, how she was like, yes, how she was like carrying herself out of the final. Do you know who my father is? Can I speak to your commanding officer? I really enjoyed that. There was a lot of fun there. And that was the heist that we were actually looking for. So yay! And I also like the way that you took over Echo. Like, okay, Echo's a slicer at heart. This is what they would do, and I really thought that was a good call, because that's yeah. So yeah, and these are my stars, I think. Yes.
Oh, the one thing
Yeah.
I forgot, sorry,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to star is rates like, stubbornness with that's what my character would do on not taking your specialist on any mission, even through you like good. And like you went all in with the characterization of like, nah, that he's not gonna do that.
No, it's beneath him.
Yeah, I think most of my stars have been mentioned. Oh, 1 star for for correcting me when I got the character's pronouns wrong, because I really tried to do that right, but I failed to keep track of them here.
So many. It was so many.
Yeah. I think a star to all of you for juggling all these characters. I think it went. I think it worked better this session than last session. I think we everyone was a bit more used to that jumping between different characters from even within the same scene. So I think it worked. I think it worked really well. Not to say that it wasn't working last session, but I think it was smoother today. Yeah, and I guess a star for putting up with me having to sometimes make things up off the top of my head. I really like the structure of this game, and I definitely like where I can see it going, but it isn't there yet. So there are some gaps. And if I hadn't run a lot of blades before, I would definitely have been lost. But I feel like I had enough grounding to be able to smooth over most of the things that aren't quite there yet. I hope to run this again when it's finished, because I there's a lot of fun stuff here. I think you can, if you play this now I've moved on. I guess I moved on from stars to more general thoughts. Think this with this structure where you have like a definitive ending one way or the other, and the heavier rotation of characters, I think that you can get some of the, I guess, epic feel of like having a long series where things change and characters grow and develop quite dramatically in a way that you don't get in regular blades, where they start out fairly competent, and sure, they become much more competent, but here they start out like at a much lower level, where they are like street rats, and they work themselves up to becoming these really cool badass characters, and I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that I will echo playing as Blee and Auden and seeing how just majorly screwed they are. Because coming to Force in the Dark, and it can be hard, but there's also like a whole lot of, yeah, no, that doesn't actually happen to me, or no, I'll choose to allow this bad thing to happen, but man, they just play those poor little street rats. I felt for them, like, you guys are so brave. You're so much braver than any Blaze character I've ever played, because you have 3 dots, you poor little thing. It was cool.
Yeah. Cool. Does anyone else have something they want to say?
I'm good. Thank you again,
Cool.
Andesh. Thank you.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And like, I did put work into the character keeper, but that was also how I learned the game, as usual, because when you have to write everything down, you need to understand how things fit together, and why things are worded the way they are, and all of that. So it's really useful. So that was fun. I don't feel like even if I would never use this character keeper again, I don't feel like it was wasted because it helped me learn the game so I can run it, and I had a lot of fun running it. I'm sorry Ian wasn't here today. I wish he could have been. I don't know. I hope there's. I hope it's just a scheduling thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with
Yeah,
that,
I think that's it.
bring to
Yep.
a close. Thanks everybody for playing. Thanks Undish for running.
Thanks for
Bye,
running.
Internet.
Thanks for the Zoom.
Yeah.